What's good, yo? Welcome to episode 41 of Making Gains TV. Today we have a special guest, Lauren Visconti.
Hello, everybody.
How are you today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing great. Tell me where you're from.
So I am from Stewartsville, New Jersey. I was born in California, actually.
Ooh,
yeah, I was born in California,
blondie.
but I came over here when I was 2 years old, so I was raised in Stewartsville.
Does that count then? You're not really from Cali, you're just...
It kind of counts, a little
It
bit.
counts,
All
it
my
counts.
family's from there.
Do you get to go back a lot?
Yeah, I go back at least once, twice a year. I was just there in October for a wedding.
I went for the first
Beautiful.
time, and, you know, global warming kind of stinks, but, like, if we get, like, California weather in Pennsylvania...
In November?
In November,
I'm
all year
down for that.
round, I can't.
I hate the
won't
cold, so.
say that I hate it.
Yeah.
But, cool. So Stewartsville, New Jersey, and you went to school locally.
High school?
High school.
High school, I went to Bethlehem Catholic. The public school I should have gone to was Phillipsburg, but my parents sent me over to Becca, shipped me over there.
How'd you like it?
I loved it. I made a lot of good friends there.
I like some people from Becca, but I don't. I just establishment just kind of I don't know rubs me the wrong way. But good for you, you know. Sometimes there's some good things that come out of Becca. That's
Oh
pretty
my
much the
gosh.
best way to say it.
We were real good at softball.
There's some good things that come out of Becca.
Real good at softball.
Cool. So you're on the show now, Making Gains TV, because you recently got hired at one of our favorite establishments, M.A.D.E, and you're a strength coach. Congrats.
Yes, sir.
How's it feel?
Thank you. Awesome. I love it. I love working with the kids. I really enjoy working with athletes.
Yeah.
I was an athlete my whole life, and I love being able to give back and help others.
That's what it's all about, giving back. So let's talk about your coaching style, since like you're new and young and you're like figuring it out
Yeah.
and like.
I would say figuring out. So I just started working there beginning of October.
A couple months ago.
Yes, as a strength coach. And like I said, I really enjoy working with the kids. I always try and be encouraging towards the kids, always positive.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that I am working on is being able to, like, I'll see something wrong, but I'm trying to think of the best way to explain it to them.
To that person.
To that person, how to cue them up properly.
That's like such a big deal because you could talk forever and like just waste the whole session, or you could not say enough, or you could say too much, or you could say the wrong thing. So it's like having, like you're saying, like that dynamic, being able to use the right cue for the right person at the right amount of time is like.
Absolutely, and you
It's
don't
the real
want
craft.
to overcoach. I mean, I've had experiences with being overcoached, and with sports, I was always a head case, so I always overanalyzed everything.
Okay.
So if you overcoached me, I would lose like all athleticism, like something so
You turn
simple.
into a robot.
Right, because I get in my own head.
Think
So-
long, think wrong.
Right.
You were
So I
not
want to
meant
make
to think.
sure I don't do that
Yeah.
to the kids. And I love messing around with them. You know, like some of the girls like get me on like your last set of tempo sprints. I'll race you.
Yeah.
You know, like
Jumping
make it
in.
fun for them.
That's
Absolutely.
awesome. So go back to like the overcoach. How like do you remember any instances where like too many coaching cues kind of shut you down or like kind of turn you into that robot?
Yes.
What do you specifically remember them? Could you like?
One of them. I mean, the first one that just came to mind actually it wasn't when I was an athlete, but I went to CrossFit for the first time, and I went with my friend as a guest.
Yeah.
And the coach I had never benched before, and the coach was trying to explain to me how to bench. And he was telling me 50 million things at one time, you know, like keep your hips down or whatever.
Yeah.
And I just lost like all athleticism. I was like,
What do I do now? Like, which part am I supposed to remember?
Exactly. I'm the type of person where I work, you know, tell me how to do it or tell me what part of my body I'm focusing on, what muscle, and I can kind of figure it out from there and then cue me up from there from watching me do it.
I was once overcoached. I just remember like being stumped and like not being able to move. I'm like, what do you mean? It's like, it was football. I was playing like it was tight end and I was the wing, and we got a penalty for being on the ball the one game, and then the head coach was like, well, you have to be off the ball but like on the ball. and like you got a penalty because you were in between. It's like, so how can you be in between on the ball and off the ball?
Yeah.
It's like, so where was I? Like, was I in another dimension? Like,
Right.
On the ball or off the ball? Like, how can you be in between that? And I just remember thinking like I had to like make the mental decisions like I'm not gonna listen to you. I just said okay and like
Yep.
and like
Sometimes you got to do that.
Yeah,
you
just
just
like-
got to say okay, and then like keep
We'll
it
do
like
it.
in the back of your mind. Be conscious of it, but don't
don't let it cripple you.
exactly
Yeah.
like just be an athlete. Just have fun, and go from there.
Cool. So speaking of being an athlete, you were an athlete your whole life, and you got to earn a scholarship to
Manhattan College.
Manhattan College, full ride for softball.
Yes.
How was that?
It was awesome. I committed to Manhattan College November of my senior year of high school.
Let's talk about your recruitment there. While you're like, I like to backtrack it because so many of our high school athletes watch this stuff. So I was even just talking to a softball player she didn't quite get accepted into the program she was thinking of, and like now there's could become a big ordeal, or it could just be like an easy shift. So you committed November senior year. What was like your recruitment like before that? Did you go to many camps? How many
was
coaches
intense.
did you talk to?
It was intense. So I started playing travel ball when I was 10 years old, and every summer it was tournaments every weekend, and then when I was a junior in high school, I joined, I don't know if you ever heard of New Jersey Pride. It's a really good travel program. I mean, they have big D1 schools come to even watch like practices. They have
wow.
like video cameras
That's awesome.
and everything going on. Yeah. So it was a great team. Like I said, really good experience. And they make sure they put you in front of like the best coaches. So, I mean,
Did that kind of make it easy and like streamline it for you then?
It did make it
Because you just
easier. I
joined
mean,
this club and they
granted, what
pump you?
the like trade-off was that it was very expensive.
Yeah.
But they sell it as we're putting you in front of the best coaches, this and that, and it's not an easy team to like get on to make.
Yeah.
So
Because they have to keep up their reputation, and
Absolutely.
they actually have to bring talent to the coaches.
Absolutely. I mean, every girl I played with got a scholarship, whether it was to D1, D2, D3. Everyone left that team with some kind of a scholarship.
Sweet.
But yeah, it was intense. Summer junior year, I will never forget, we had a tournament in Colorado. So we were there for 5 days. Then from there, we went to, 2 days later, we went to Chicago. From Chicago, we were going to Randall's Island, New York. And our flight got delayed. We didn't get in until like 1 a.m. into Newark.
This softball club also have their own like team jet?
No.
Or, Jesus.
Absolutely
So
not.
it's just like boarding passes, like
Boarding
flying
passes,
everywhere.
almost missing, like
Just running through airports.
Yep, running through the airports, like with huge bulky softball bags. But yeah, I
Bats
mean, it
like
was,
clinging and falling on the floor.
Yep,
I
yep.
can see that being a real mess.
and like buses not being on time, a whole bunch of stuff happened. But
Talk
so, yeah,
about adversity.
Yeah,
Sheesh.
it was intense and it was nerve-wracking because like you see all the coaches like lined up, like watching you play, and you get nervous.
Yeah.
You get really nervous because you're like, oh, if I mess up,
Was there ever a
I'm not
point where you
gonna get
weren't
that.
nervous? Like, did you ever get past that? Maybe like after committing, or just being comfortable at the camps or at the tournaments?
Yeah, there was. It would depend on who was there, what coaches I knew were there, if there were schools I wanted to go to, the day, how I was feeling, if I was having a good day.
Yeah.
When I got recruited, I remember I think I robbed a home run, I hit a home run.
Stole that thing.
Yeah, in one game, and that's the game that I got recruited at.
That's awesome.
So I mean, it's also.
I'm so into like the mental part of it, like
Oh yeah.
feeling nerve and like just trying to get rid of that, like whatever the nervous part is, and like getting over it. I remember like going to arena football tryouts, NFL tryouts. You see the same guys, and one of the guys I played in like the Big 33 with way back in high school, and I haven't seen since. I was like, "You nervous?" He's like, "Nervous for what?" He's like, "How long you been playing football?" And I was like, "Whatever, like 10 years." He's like, "It's just playing football." I was like, "Damn, you're so smart." Like that was like brilliant. Just that little bit made it all like go away. It's like it's just another drill. It's nothing like you can't handle. It doesn't really matter who's there or not. It's just like another timeout, another, like, you play softball from 10 years old, like, the bat, the ball didn't change, you know, the different pitchers, the lines go in the same directions. It's like focusing on the controllables is like what I really try to teach some guys and girls versus like who's going to be there and getting out of your game. So that's such a cool aspect. But also, let's get into, you kind of had like a different experience once you got to college, right? A little bit of adversity there as well.
Right. So I played softball at Manhattan College just 1 year, just my freshman year. And then I decided to transfer to Rutgers my sophomore year.
That's another high five.
New
So
Brunswick.
you said, we talked earlier, you chose Manhattan for sports, but they didn't really
Right.
have the major. You weren't super passionate about it.
Right. So when I originally committed, like I said, I committed to Manhattan College November of my senior year. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I was like, oh, maybe I'll major in business or something. I'm not really too sure. It wasn't until I got there, or this summer that I was going, before I went to Manhattan College, that I was like, you know, like I really like nutrition, eating right and all that stuff. So the major that I had at Manhattan College, they didn't have nutrition. It was called Allied Health, and it was more of nutrition education. So it wasn't really too much science. It wasn't what I was looking for. It like enabled you to get your master's in nutrition, which was just, it wasn't legit.
Yeah, it wasn't like the fit for you.
Right, it wasn't, as I would say.
So would you say you kind of like struggled in the classroom because you weren't in love with like education, your major?
Well, freshman year anyways, it was a lot of prerequisites.
Yeah.
So I remember taking like bio 1, bio 2. But it was, like I said, mostly prerequisites, your general psychology, your general sociology. So I wouldn't say like school was like the issue, but I knew after doing more research, and like Rutgers has a very good nutrition program, and looking at their curriculum and then looking at the classes I was taking, there was no comparison.
Yeah.
You know, at Rutgers, it's very heavy with science. So I took bio 1 and 2, chem 1 and 2, organic, biochemistry, you name it. And like I said, at Manhattan, it was more education classes. Like the school I was in was actually the education school, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, so
I get it.
It just didn't add up. So yeah, I decided to.
Hopefully it makes sense for all you guys. But I get it. I can explain it to you later. So that's so cool. I think you might be like the first person I met that chose like the academic route over sports. So I guess kind of to wrap things up, like what's any advice you would give to like some softball players in the mix right now, choosing schools, and then anything you want to say to all the people you coach or may coach, or you know, nutrition advice, whatever you want to throw out
What
there
I would
into
say,
the YouTube galaxy.
If I could go back and like back to when I was playing softball and talk to my younger self, I would just say, you know, play for the girl who fell in love with the game. You know, no one else. Forget college at this point. Well, I shouldn't say forget college, but just forget, you know, the stress of trying to get that scholarship.
Don't say sorry to me. I already went to college.
Well, go to school. Go to school.
I feel you. Yeah, so play for a girl who fell in love with the game.
Yeah. You know, it's a game. It's only a game. Have fun with it. You know, don't get in your own head. Don't lose your athleticism because you're stressed out. You know, if you strike out, you strike out. It's not the end of the world. If you miss that ball, you miss that ball. And that everything is going to work out.
Nice.
You know.
Nice. Well, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
You keep making gains.
Thank you.
You keep making gains too.
Hit that thumbs up button as hard as you possibly can. Subscribe to the channel. But for now, signing off from Making Gains TV.